Okay, we're rolling.
Okay, so this is a small sort of test planter bed that I did to see a different kind of ground cover, native ground cover. And I've tried a couple of the morning glories. There's Hunakai and Pauhiaka in here. And my biggest thing was some of the more common native ground covers like Pohinahina and Iliae that are used in the landscape can get kind of taller. Which is, you know, depending on your aesthetic or your needs, that can be totally fine. But I was curious if I could do something where it kind of stays lower. This is only a couple months old, so we'll see what it looks like in a year, or even further than that. But my hunch is I think it'll stay kind of low. Because another, I forgot to mention, there's another native plant that's used like this, Nanea. But Nanea can get kind of, even though it's a vine, it can get kind of high. But we'll see what happens in this case. But that's what I wanted to do here, was a low ground, like, because I don't want to block this window, right?
Can you, besides the Ilima Papa, can you name all the plants?
Oh, and then the accent plants that I have in here. So this sedge, this is mai'apilo. Oh, and then on this side, this is a wahoo stock. This is mai'apilo. This is the native caper. And then let's see other ones. This is, I think, from Maui, but this is the naupaka papa. So this is the prostrate, smaller leaf naupaka species. It's also coastal, but it's not that closely related to the naupaka kahakai, like the normal one that you see in landscapes. This is Hina, and again, I'm blanking on the genus for some reason today. Usually this is more silvery, but the pounders population is more just green leaf. This is the Solanum nelsonii. This is critically endangered. And then, is there anything else that I planted in here that's different? That's the main things. Oh, did I mention the akulikuli? Yeah, so I should have planted more. You could see it in the back kind of spreading through, but I was gonna see how those sort of interact with the different morning glories in here. But my idea was to see if I can get a native ground cover that was low. So this isn't necessarily like a grass, like a turf grass, but in some ways it's acting like it because it's very low.
Yeah,
right?
But I like how the akulikuli is kind of popping up a little bit. Looks nice.
Yeah.
Without being too high, but it's a little bit popping up.
And again, a lot of this is just inspiration for me looking at the different strand and coastal ecosystems, like Allen Davis, Makapulu, pounders, just seeing how those native plant communities, what they look like, and then implementing it here. And then in this case, you know, how can we take what's happening here and then expanding it to other use case scenarios, right? Like in your ballpark.
Yeah, like more, like really urban.
Yeah. But there's potential here, right? Like I was mentioning to you before, we have this huge eave overhead. So this only gets morning, maybe midday sun. And so far it's thriving. I water this 3 times a week. I'm trying to back off of that even further. And
that's not too much either.
Yeah.
And then you said it was coral.
Crushed coral.
Crushed coral.
Yeah, I just dumped.
What did you mix? Just crushed coral and a little soil, and that's it?
Yeah, well, yeah, because originally, if you could see, this was a random planter bed. There's like the typical, you know, landscape. Plants, right? But I was like, you know what? Let me just use this side and see how it goes.
That's so cool.
Yeah, because the building starts right here.
Oh yeah.
So we didn't want this blocking the window.
Oh right. That makes sense.
Yeah. But I was all right. Well, let me try this. Let me see if I can get a low ground cover, native ground cover going.
But I think it's such a cool idea to do this mixture, both the accents, but also like different ground covers. That because, like you said before, I started filming. You know, like if one dies back, then the other one might take over.
Correct.
Like so, you always have some options, kind of.
But succession. In that way,
kind
right?
of succession. Yeah, actually. Yeah. Cool. Thanks.
Well, and then for me, because